Have you ever stopped to think about what really sustains relationships that transcend time and adversities? In a constantly changing world, where connections can be as ephemeral as a click, discovering the secret to deep and lasting bonds seems more relevant than ever. It's not about having countless friends on social media or a packed schedule. Surprisingly, it lies in rediscovering an ancient wisdom that many of us have forgotten: the Stoic teachings about the art of living. Before dismissing the idea that ancient philosophers could teach us about the complexities of modern relationships, let me take you on a journey through time. A journey that reveals how concepts forged centuries ago can be exactly what we need to build stronger and more meaningful bonds today. 1. Radical acceptance. Picture yourself navigating a vast ocean where the waves and wind don't obey your commands. Trying to control the direction of each wave would be a lost battle, right? Similarly, in the journey of life, facing the natural flow of events, as suggested by Epictetus, is embracing true freedom. Do not demand that things happen as you wish, but wish that they happen as they do, and you will flow well. This timeless wisdom guides us to a state of harmony and contentment. What if I told you that the secret to harmonious living with the world and others begins with something as simple as acceptance? Yes, accepting others as they truly are, without the urge to mold them in our image, is the first step to building strong and meaningful relationships. Why do we resist this idea so much? When we try to shape others according to our own desires, we create expectations that often go unmet. This leads to frustration, disappointment, and often conflicts. But what if we changed our approach? What if, instead of expecting the world to adjust to our desires, we opened ourselves to embrace reality as it is? Wouldn't that make us, in a way, masters of our own peace? Acceptance doesn't mean resigning or giving up on our values. On the contrary, it's an exercise in understanding and empathy. It's realizing that each person is a unique universe with their own dreams, struggles, and quirks. By adopting this stance, we not only cultivate an environment of mutual respect, but also free ourselves from the shackles of unrealistic expectations. Imagine the story of Emily and Benjamin, a couple who, despite the love that binds them, often found themselves at odds due to their different ways of seeing the world. Emily is a natural planner who likes to have every detail of her life meticulously organized, while Benjamin lives more spontaneously, letting life take him without many plans or agendas. Initially, this difference caused constant conflicts. Emily tirelessly tried to organize Benjamin's life, creating schedules and to-do lists for him, hoping he would become more like her. Benjamin, on the other hand, felt suffocated and restricted, wishing Emily could live in the present moment with more ease. The turning point in their relationship came when they decided to seek mutual understanding instead of trying to change each other. Emily began to see the value in Benjamin's spontaneity, recognizing that unexpected moments can bring immeasurable joys. Benjamin, realizing Emily's love for planning, started to appreciate how organization could bring tranquility and security to their lives. They implemented a simple practice, setting aside time weekly to plan activities together that balanced their preferences. Some activities were meticulously organized by Emily, while others were left completely open to Benjamin's spontaneity. This balance allowed both of them to feel valued and understood, strengthening their relationship. This example illustrates the beauty of acceptance. Emily and Benjamin learned that accepting and valuing their differences not only reduced conflicts, but also enriched their relationship, allowing both to grow and learn from each other. Instead of wishing the other would change, they wished to understand and accept each other's quirks, and that in turn became the foundation of a deeper and more meaningful bond. So I invite you, how about we start building this world today? How about we look at the people around us with eyes of acceptance and understanding? Let's together cultivate inner peace, understanding that by accepting the world as it is, we open ourselves to a smoother and more rewarding flow of life. 2. Emotional resilience. The maxim from Zenon of Citium, "Pain is inevitable but suffering is optional," is a powerful reminder of our ability to navigate through life with a more balanced perspective. This idea doesn't suggest that we should ignore pain or pretend that challenges don't exist, but rather that we have the freedom to choose how we respond to these situations. Let's imagine for a moment that you're on a boat crossing a lake. Suddenly, a storm approaches, bringing strong winds and high waves. The pain in this scenario is the storm itself, something beyond your control, inevitable. The suffering, on the other hand, is how you decide to face that storm. You can panic, which will likely make the situation harder, or you can choose to stay calm, using your skills to navigate the waves as best as possible, minimizing the suffering. Applying this analogy to human relationships, we realize that conflicts, misunderstandings, and setbacks are like storms, an inevitable part of human interaction. However, the way we interpret and react to these challenges is where our true freedom lies. When we face challenges in relationships, the natural tendency may be to react with frustration, anger, or resentment. However, if we adopt the perspective that our suffering results not from the event itself, but from how we interpret it, we open space for a more serene and constructive response. For example, if a friend forgets an important commitment, the initial pain is the forgetfulness. Additional suffering, however, comes from how we interpret that action. We can see it as a personal affront, questioning the value of our friendship, or we can consider it as a simple human mistake, something we are all subject to making. Choosing the second interpretation allows us to approach the situation with understanding and empathy, perhaps opening a dialogue to express how we feel without assigning blame. This not only reduces our own suffering, but also preserves the quality of the relationship, allowing it to grow from mutual understanding. This choice for serenity instead of emotional turmoil doesn't mean suppressing our feelings, but acknowledging them and consciously deciding not to let them dominate us. It's practicing the art of emotional resilience, strengthening our relationships and promoting greater inner peace. So, the next time we face a challenge in a relationship, let's remember that while we can't control what happens to us, we have the power to choose how to react. And that choice can make all the difference between navigating with serenity or being overwhelmed by the waves of suffering. How about we choose, today and always, the path of understanding, dialogue, and peace? 3. Virtue as the essence of being. Moral excellence is the only good. It is sufficient for happiness, said Seneca, emphasizing a timeless truth that still resonates in our hearts and minds. This phrase invites us to reflect on the invaluable value of virtue, integrity, and kindness, not only as personal qualities, but as the solid foundation upon which meaningful relationships are built. Imagine for a moment that you are a lighthouse, not just any lighthouse, but one that radiates virtue and kindness. Just as a lighthouse guides ships through stormy seas to safety, your morally elevated presence can be a guide for those around you, inspiring them to navigate life's challenges with integrity and compassion. In a world that often values material success and external achievements above all else, Seneca reminds us that true happiness and fulfillment come from within. It is in moral excellence that we find not only the key to our own happiness, but also the power to enrich and uplift the lives of those around us. But how can we cultivate this moral excellence in our own lives and relationships? It starts with small acts of kindness, decisions made with integrity, and the courage to act according to our highest principles, even when it's difficult. It's about being authentic in our actions and words, treating others with respect and compassion, and being meaningfully present. Let's consider a practical situation. You notice that a colleague is going through a tough time. Instead of ignoring or simply offering empty words, you choose to act. Perhaps you offer a listening ear, practical support, or simply your warm presence. This simple act of kindness can not only transform that person's day, but also serve as a powerful example for others, encouraging them to spread even more kindness. Being a person whose presence is morally elevated doesn't mean being perfect. We all make mistakes. However, it's our ability to learn from those mistakes, to sincerely apologize, and to do better next time that allows us to grow in virtue and integrity. As we strive to live according to the principles of moral excellence, we create a wave of positivity that can transform our relationships and communities. We inspire others to do the same, creating a virtuous cycle of kindness and integrity. So I encourage you to be that beacon of virtue in your world. In doing so, you'll not only find deep satisfaction and happiness, but also inspire those around you to elevate their own lives. Together, we can create a world where moral excellence is not just aspired to, but lived out every day, in every interaction. Let's start this journey today. Number 4, empathy and understanding. Be kind, for everyone you meet is fighting a hard battle. This reminder, an adaptation of Stoic thought, is an invitation for us to practice empathy and compassion in our daily lives. By doing so, we not only enrich our own lives, but also strengthen the bonds that connect us to others, promoting mutual and profound understanding. Empathy, the ability to put oneself in another's shoes, is a fundamental pillar in human relationships. It allows us to see beyond our own perspectives and to experience, even if in a limited way, what another person is feeling. This practice not only breaks down barriers and misunderstandings, but also sows the seeds of true care and mutual support. Imagine for a moment a common situation, a co-worker or friend who seems more irritable or distant than usual. It's easy to interpret this behavior superficially, perhaps as a sign of disrespect or disinterest. However, by adopting the perspective that everyone you meet is fighting a hard battle, we can choose a different approach. Instead of reacting or distancing ourselves, we can choose kindness. A simple question like, "Are you okay? Is there anything I can help with?" can open doors to a conversation that offers support and understanding. This gesture, though small, can mean the world to someone going through a challenging time. It's a reminder that they are not alone and that there are people around them who care. Practicing empathy also teaches us about humility and patience, recognizing that we all face challenges, some visible and others hidden, is a reminder of our own vulnerability and shared humanity. This can make us more patient and less prone to snap judgments. Moreover, as we strive to understand others, we can learn valuable lessons about our own lives. Each person we meet has a unique story, full of experiences and wisdom that can enrich our understanding of the world and ourselves. Ultimately, the practice of empathy has the power to transform not only our individual relationships, but also our communities. A society where people strive to understand and support each other is a stronger, more cohesive, and ultimately happier society. Number 5, the art of reflection. The life of a man is what his thoughts make of it. This statement by Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor, resonates with a profound truth about human nature and the power of the mind. Our thoughts are the architects of our reality, shaping our perceptions, attitudes, and ultimately our actions. Recognizing this reality opens the door to unprecedented personal growth, which in turn has a profound and positive impact on all of our relationships. Imagine for a moment that your thoughts are seeds. Some of these seeds sprout into vibrant and fruitful flowers, while others may grow like weeds, choking off growth around them. The practice of deep reflection is like tending to a garden, carefully selecting which seeds to plant and which weeds to pull. This is no easy task. It requires constant attention and diligence, but the fruits of this labor are extraordinary. By cultivating the habit of reflecting on our actions and motivations, we begin to better understand why we do what we do. Why do certain situations or behaviors trigger us? What do we truly value and seek in life? How do our actions affect those around us? These questions, when approached with sincerity and openness, can reveal profound insights into our character and priorities. Let's consider a common scenario. You find yourself in a disagreement with a friend or family member. The initial response may be one of frustration or defensiveness. However, by pausing and reflecting on the origin of your feelings, you may discover that the conflict arises from a misunderstanding or your own insecurities. With this understanding, you are better equipped to approach the situation with empathy and seek a constructive resolution, thereby strengthening the relationship. This process of self-examination not only helps us resolve conflicts more effectively, but also enables us to live according to our deepest values. When our actions are guided by a clear understanding of who we are and what we want to achieve, we become more authentic and aligned with our purpose. This has a magnetic effect on our relationships, attracting and nurturing connections based on mutual respect, understanding, and love. Furthermore, deep reflection encourages us to be more mindful and present in our daily interactions. By fully engaging with others, we demonstrate that we value not only our own journey of growth, but also theirs. This creates an environment of mutual support, where everyone is encouraged to explore their potential and share their discoveries. Therefore, I encourage you to dedicate a moment every day to deep reflection. It could be a morning meditation, an evening journal, or simply a few moments of introspection throughout the day. By doing so, you are not only cultivating an internal garden of beneficial thoughts and actions, but also enriching your relationships with the beauty and depth that arise from true personal growth. Why not start nurturing this transformative practice today? Number 6. Freedom from aversion. We are disturbed not by what happens to us, but by our thoughts about what happens. This reflection by Epictetus sheds light on a fundamental truth of the human experience. Our natural tendency to resist or reject what we consider undesirable can, paradoxically, be the source of much of our difficulties and suffering. However, there is an alternative path, a path of acceptance and gratitude that can lead us to a fuller and more meaningful life. Let's think of impermanence as an intrinsic feature of everything around us, including our own lives. Everything from the happiest moments to the most challenging ones is temporary. Instead of facing this reality with fear or aversion, we can choose to see it as an opportunity to appreciate the beauty and value of each experience and encounter. For example, consider meeting an old friend. Knowing that the time together is limited, you can choose to focus on gratitude for the opportunity to share moments again, instead of dwelling on the sadness of the eventual farewell. This shift in perspective not only enriches the time spent together, but also transforms the parting into a sweet reminder of the preciousness of those shared moments. This approach can be extended to all areas of life. Facing challenges or unwanted situations with an attitude of gratitude allows us to learn and grow from them. Each difficulty becomes a lesson, each obstacle an opportunity to develop resilience and wisdom. Gratitude for impermanence also teaches us to live more fully in the present. Instead of worrying excessively about the future or lamenting the past, we learn to value the now, embracing each moment and each person we encounter along the way. This allows us to build richer and more authentic relationships based on genuine appreciation of the other and the sharing of experiences. Furthermore, by cultivating an attitude of gratitude in the face of impermanence, we promote a sense of peace and contentment. Recognizing that change is a constant helps us let go of rigid expectations and embrace the fluidity of life, finding beauty and joy in the surprises and revelations that each new day brings. In conclusion, I invite you to reflect on how aversion to the unwanted has influenced your life. Are there situations or people you have been avoiding out of fear or resistance? How would your experience change if, instead, you embraced these moments with gratitude and openness to learning? By making this shift in perspective, we not only simplify our lives, but also open our hearts to a deeper and lasting happiness. Let us together cultivate gratitude for impermanence, finding beauty and meaning in every moment, whether it is unwanted or not. Number 7, community and contribution. We were born to work together like feet, hands, and eyes, like the 2 rows of teeth, upper and lower. This eloquent metaphor by Marcus Aurelius highlights a profound truth about human nature and society. We are inherently interconnected and built for mutual cooperation. This principle, though simple, has profound implications for how we live, work, and relate to each other. Reflecting on this analogy, we realize that each part of the body, though unique in function, works in harmony for the greater good of the organism. Similarly, each individual with their unique talents and abilities contributes to the fabric of society. By recognizing this interconnection, we understand that by helping others, we are actually strengthening ourselves and the community as a whole. Imagine a community where each person strives to contribute to the well-being of others. This collective effort creates a network of support and care that benefits everyone. For example, when someone dedicates time to help young people through education or mentoring, they are investing not only in the future of that child, but also in the future of the entire community. Likewise, by offering support to someone in difficult times, we strengthen the bonds that unite us, creating a more resilient and compassionate society. This principle also applies to the workplace. When we recognize that the team's success depends on collaboration and mutual support, we create a more productive and harmonious environment. Instead of competing with each other, we seek ways to contribute to collective success, understanding that ultimately this benefits us individually as well. The interconnectedness of life teaches us about the importance of empathy and generosity. By putting ourselves in others' shoes and contributing to their well-being, we are not only doing a good deed, we are weaving a web of interdependence that sustains us all. This understanding can transform how we see and interact with the world, encouraging us to act with more consideration and compassion. Therefore, I invite you to reflect on how you can contribute to the well-being of others in your daily life. It could be as simple as offering a smile, helping a colleague with a project, or dedicating time to causes that benefit the community. Each action, no matter how small, is a thread in the weaving of human cooperation, strengthening the whole by strengthening its parts. Remember that as we nurture each other and the world around us, we nurture ourselves. In this web of interconnections, each contribution to the common good is ultimately a contribution to our own well-being. May we all embrace our innate capacity for cooperation, thus strengthening ourselves, our relationships, and our society. Incorporating these Stoic principles into our lives, not only enriches our personal relationships, but also elevates us, allowing us to face emotional storms with unshakable inner strength. This path, though challenging, leads to a fuller and more meaningful existence, where each interaction becomes an opportunity to practice virtue and cultivate serenity. May this video not be just another video, but an invitation to reflection and action, inspiring a deep inner transformation in the pursuit of wisdom and genuine relationships. These 7 Stoic tips are the first step towards stronger and more meaningful relationships. However, the journey is vast and full of discoveries. What else can we learn from the wisdom of the ancient philosophers to apply in our modern lives? Don't miss our upcoming videos, where we will explore these powerful teachings further, bringing new perspectives to enrich our relationships and our being. Stoic wisdom has much more to offer, and together we will discover how to make it part of our everyday life. Leave a like on this video and don't forget to subscribe. See you soon.